Welcome to another episode of Heart and Soul. And today we're going to share about pet love, the joy and fun of pets, and the love we have for our pets, and the love the pets share with us, and what they teaching us. I don't know, did you grow up with pets? What's your favorite kind of pet? Are you more a dog person, cat person? So many things to explore. My name is Caroline, and currently I have an 8-year-old golden retriever, a really, really sweet, calm-natured dog. And since Sunday, I'm a mother of two tiny kittens. They're just about 4 months old, and they are mischievous. They bring so much joy and playfulness and awareness of where they can get into dangers. And it's been really, really great. I grew up with a cat. I mean, only when I was 10 or 11, we had a cat. So that was fun. And I always counted myself more of a cat person. But of course, I opened my heart to wonderful dogs as well. Welcome, Janet. I know you have a pet, baby pet in your house as well.
We do indeed. Thanks, Caroline. Yes, we have she's just over she's 1 year, 1 month. She's a little cockapoo. And if anybody knows anything about cockapoos, she is totally crazy, but so adorably cute. And she has totally changed my husband and my lives because we didn't have children. She's now our little fur baby. And my husband just adores her. It's so sweet how he is with her. I'm, of course, the mummy who does all of the picking up poo and doing all of that. Um, it's funny, he gets the cuddles and I don't so much get the cuddles. But if she's looking at anything, she comes to me. And the more I hear about speaking now to proper parents like you, Caroline, with your children, or my sister with her children, and they're going, yes, that's how it is. So I'm learning a lot. I'm a later in life mum. And I have to say, I just wish I had a bit more energy. But she has totally brought so much joy and filled a massive hole in our lives that, yeah, it was there and it's just made a huge difference. But Caroline, don't you have a few more animals at home, pets at home? Don't you have some tortoise as well?
Yeah, we also have 8 tortoises. They're in the garden. They're really easy pets. In winter, they duck themselves in, hibernate, and then they come out. Sometimes I feel like I need to hibernate over winter as well. And then you just feed them some salads, and they're really cute. And sometimes they really sort of march, and they hear the rattle of the plastic of the salad before we throw it, and they come out. So, food, food, food. And of course, they just, when the sun comes up, they're bathing, putting themselves up on the stones just to get most of the sunshine. And that's
Oh,
how I feel sometimes too. We also had, when the kids were younger, we had 2 rabbits, tiny rabbits. They were sort of
oh,
running around in the playpen outside, and yeah, weren't never that cuddly, but they could put them on their arms. And we had 2 birds. I don't know the bird in English. It's a Wellensittich in German. It's sort of the colorful one with little dots and something, not canaries, not the yellow ones, but the other
no.
ones. And then both died because from the pet shop we got them, they had sort of like an
Oh,
infection, and then we got 2 more and 2 more and 2 more. You know how it
yeah,
is when an
yeah.
8-year-old cries for pets, and then you sort of like, and back then, of course, I didn't allow that wound, or I wasn't really a clear channel to hold that hurt. So I just wanted to make my son happy. So we had about 8 of those. They were quite noisy and quite messy, but in summer we could put the cage outside, and that was fun. And yeah, it's really great. And for me, it's what I learned from my pets is sort of my dog truly, truly teaches me about unconditional love. I mean, she just loves me. You know, whatever I do. Do I go for a long walk? Do I go for a short walk? She just loves me. And the eyes, when they look at you, it's just like, oh, I think dogs really teach us about
Yes.
love. Cats, they, I mean, we had an older cat that died in April, and she was with us for 15 years. Also, not a rescue. She was maybe about 2 years old when we got her. And self care, you know, just, you know, I'm tired, I lie there, I wash myself, I lie there, I take a leisurely life, sort of like, oh, I'm hungry, I eat, I lie there, I go outside. Really, really peaceful and content with oneself as a cat, you know. And of course, the two tiny kittens, they are so playful. And I have to laugh out loud. It's really that joy they bring, that joy. And of course, that mischief. And they come and purr, and you can cuddle them. And it's just like, and then they're off again, running around. And yeah, have, you know, the carefreeness in a way. And the tortoises, of course, taught me so much about ebb and flow, you know, about summer energy, winter hibernation, and allowing that, you know, sort of having a bit rainy days and sunny days. Is there anything your gorgeous Bailey has taught you so far?
She's taught us a lot, actually. She's having her come into our lives and having a little puppy and dealing with the puppy side of things really helped me to be less focused on everything has to be perfect, because with her in our lives, it's just everything is a bit chaos. So accepting that, and that was a bit hard, but actually now it doesn't bother me. If her toys are over the floor or whatever, it doesn't bother me. And she has this thing that she gets up on the sofa and she throws all the cushions off when she's had zoomies. But the thing is, as well, it gives me great joy. She gets me out of the house, and I get out and I do the walk. And the early morning walks down by the sea, it can be so good for it's just very calming and good for the soul. And then I also get to meet a lot of people, local people, and who have dogs. There's a lot of dog walkers in my area, and I've got to know some nice people, and it's very nice to be able to have those chats, so I feel more integrated where we're living now. And it's all thanks to having her now in our lives. And I see sometimes that I send Mark out to fit my husband out to play in the garden with her, and he's throwing the ball. And I was standing at the kitchen window just watching out, and it made my heart so happy, because he had been a brilliant father. And to see him playing with her, and he gets down on the ground and he's talking to her, and he's laughing, and it's just seeing him as well, like how much joy she's bringing him in his life as well. And the three of us, when we went on holidays recently, just it was like the three of us going and doing stuff, and he'd pick her up, and it really feels like, because we had that void of not having the children we both wanted, to have her now really is very special. But she makes us laugh at times, because she's very, as you say, mischievous. And she'll, if you say don't do that, she'll go and do it. And then you have to try and stop or find a way. And she'll find a way around how to get around that, because she's clever. But she also makes us laugh, because sometimes she'll play with her ball and she'll try and throw it herself for her to chase. And it's just watching her doing this stuff. And as you say, it's just so funny. And then sometimes she'll come up and she'll sit on the sofa, but she'll sit on the back of the sofa, but more up round my husband's back of his neck, his head, and sort of curl around there. And yeah, she's just completely changed our lives, and a lot of it in a good way. I'm not saying there's times when we get a bit, when she causes mischief, but definitely she has filled our life with joy. Because of moving around, we never were in the position to have pets. Mark did grow up with having dogs. When I grew up, we had one black lab, but I wasn't that keen on the dog because he ate my toy panda. And I think I kind of fell out with the dog over that, not realizing, of course, it was a puppy and that's what they do. So yes, it definitely has made a big difference to our lives, and I'm so glad that we finally made the decision to welcome her into our lives, because she has totally opened our hearts wide open. And it's what's lovely is when we're out and about as well, everybody's getting to know Bailey, and people will actually stop and say, "Oh, hello, Bailey," and like she really has become a little character, and it's so nice to see. And she makes people smile. You know, you'll even see people walking down and they start to smile when they see her, and they want to come over and pet her, and she just has that sort of character. So that's really lovely. Yes. And I met Snowflake when you don't think you had Snowflake all that long. You were still
I
training
think
her
she was still sort of a puppy, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. That
she's a
was really
beautiful
fun.
dog.
Yeah, yeah. She's
It's
really,
so
I mean, Goldies are really, people adore them. Sometimes because they're a bit bigger, people are a bit afraid. But yeah, like you meet other dog people or dog lovers.
Yeah.
People talk to you. Oh, what's her name? How old is she? Or it's really nice, and yeah, and then connecting with friends who also have dogs and go for a dog walk together. It's just amazing. Just this morning we went with another Goldie, and it was just so much fun. And then we could chat, and it's really, yeah, it's sort of bonding and heart opening. And yeah, as our Leo passed away in April, yeah, it was we needed the 2-3 months to truly grieve
Yeah.
and let go and leaving everything as it is. And then time came for a new cat. Sort of, we just knew
Yeah.
a cat. And I felt like two, because that's just fun. And first we thought maybe grown-up cats again, give them a home. But then we saw those tiny kittens, rescue kittens, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to have young ones, and it's just great. And I was mesmerized how much we got done before the kittens came. It's all of a sudden sort of the boxes we kept around and stuff we kept around. We finally cleared it up because we wanted to make the house cat safe, cat friend. Yeah, I mean cat safe, and yeah, just moving things around, making space, and emptying the toilet cat litter from Leo, and cleansing it all, putting in fresh one, preparing, and even my son cleared up all his room, made space. We checked not too many cables around. I thought sort of, this is great, we really cleared a lot. Of course, we just brought it to storage, but it's, there is space, and we
Yeah.
had that energy because we were so excited about the two kittens. And yeah, it's really great. And yeah, they're part of our journey. And of course, cats, they can get 20, and I'm turning 55 next month. I mean, 75 is below average, but I told my kids, yeah, it's
Yeah.
your cats as well. So I think that's also important to, when you get a pet,
Yeah.
first of all, yeah, check how big the dog is gonna be, because so many I heard so many stories of families getting a dog and then they grow and grow. Oh, we didn't know it got that big. It's too big. We want to get rid of it. It's like, you can't do that. He's part of the family. It's like a child. You can't just say, oh, we don't like blue-eyed kids, or whatever. They grow up to be teenagers and they're so annoying. So there you go. And and yeah, and with kittens too, they can grow up to be 20 years old. So you have to prepare for that timeline and give them the space and home. And they accept us so fully, and they are so happy and grateful to be in a home and feel the love and care, and they give us so much. So, and they're dependent on us. So truly it's important to give back and be there for them through thick and thin. It's not like giving up and and know what to expect. I think that's really important. The place we adopted our kittens to, they really had we had to sign papers, with rules and everything, and made us aware of what it means. It's not like, oh, I try it out, if it doesn't work, give it back. It's a living animal and living being, and it's
Yes.
truly important to, yeah, to give them a good home and enjoy them. And yeah, they might break things, so if something is truly important, put it away. Or with dogs, they might chew things. If you
Oh,
have your favorite shoes out, put them in a cupboard. So it's about us being prepared. It's not the pets who do wrong. It's us. We didn't, expect something. So expect the unexpected is what I realized with cats. They go everywhere, but they're so gentle. They come up on the desk and they just walk around. They're hopefully never going to be do so plop, plop, plop videos you see on social media when the cats just throw everything out. But it's really, really fun. But it has to be a conscious decision, and a decision for a pet's life. I think it really is truly important. Too many animals end up in shelters, and that's not
yeah.
nice.
I know that here in the UK, I know a lady who does a lot of fostering dogs in hope through, until they can find their permanent home. And it is quite sad. I mean, she had one dog, and it basically the owners were working and couldn't be bothered and just left it in its crate. So the poor dog had never socialized, had never had much connection. And when it was with her, she's such a loving soul. And I called round with Bailey, she sometimes looks after Bailey for us. And I called round to see her, and Bailey seems to be a very kind soul of a dog, because she'll very gently go up, and this little dog was like very nervous and stuff, and she would go along and she would sort of like, edge up and be like, she know it's like she knows, and then like, very gently say, do you want to play? And then they'd start running around, and it was so lovely to see that sort of like Bailey went in and sort of like had a little bit to, show this other dog that, hey, this is what you can do. And I've noticed that, that about Bailey, but I do think here in the UK, there's no requirement to do any sort of like, I know in Switzerland it's a little bit more regulated, that you've got to do some sort of test before you can even get a dog, for example, and then you have to have do the training. It's compulsory. Here it's not, and people get dogs or pets because their child asked for it, but they don't think about the consequences and looking after, as you say, it's a little sentient being.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, everybody goes, oh, it's just an animal. Well, no, they're not. They're, as you say, they're a family member. And if you take on that commitment, I think so many people, and particularly now with a lot of families having issues with financial issues, I mean, an animal or a pet is sometimes a costly, because they have like health issues. The vet's bills are quite high, and people don't think about that. Mark and I thought a long time before we were in the right place and could commit to taking on that responsibility. And I just wish more people would do that. I think there's a lot of animals ending up needing rehomed, and they've been neglected. And that is so sad, because these little dogs, they just want to love. I mean, as you sort of say, they just want this unconditional love. And I'm so glad to see, like, this lady having them, and then them end up hopefully finding a good home for them, of somebody who really does care and wants them and loves them. Because it is that it's just not an animal. I remember there always being an advert that said, you know, a dog is for life. And I wish that people would actually consider that a dog is for life, because it is a companion. And you're right, when it connects with you, I always say it like imprints on your soul. And I do think there is that soul connection with your pets. They become part of you. They really become so connected with you. And it is important that you look after them exactly as if they are your child. They're that little being that you're responsible for. And Caroline, before we came on, Caroline was saying about, you know, oh, they're in our plants, or they're in this, or they're eating that. And Bailey does the same thing. And I'm going, Bailey, don't eat that because it could be toxic for you, or don't touch that. And you're just constantly worried about them.
Yeah, I'm still in that control mode, you know, checking where are they? What is it? It's too quiet. What's happening?
They're doing something, yeah.
And because there are two of them, so one is there. Where's the other one? And I think it takes a while, yeah, for me to get accustomed, for them, and then we build the trust, and then we know they're gonna be safe, and like you said, you know, they leave an imprint on your heart and soul. And when my snowflake was so sick in March, she had pancreatitis, and she had bloody stool, and she was constantly vomiting all night, on the hour, every hour. And I was just so worried, sick, you know. And the first thing, I called the vet at 8 o'clock. I could go there by 10, and she was barely walking, you know, really. And I mean, it broke my heart. I thought, oh, hopefully, and luckily she's okay, you know. She got rehydrated and got pain medication and everything. But you worry about them for their health. And yeah, it's just sort of like, I mean, empaths, you know, I felt it in me, and that pain. And of course, then I had to focus on her getting better, instead of getting into my fears and saying, oh, she's dying. No, you know. And the vet is really, we have a fabulous vet, and that's really, really important. And she's sort of really down to earth, but so animal lover. So it's really great, because this morning I went for the immunization with the dog. I said, we have 2 kittens, and I realized the orchids, and these are poisonous plants for kittens. Well, what do I do? Is it just when they chew it? And she says, oh, yeah, it's when they chew it, but only lilies actually are with just the pollens. And I thought, okay, I don't have lilies in my home, not lilies in my garden, but it's good. And it brought me down, because I thought, everything is poisonous, you know, sort of. But it was really good, and it's really good to have someone that is really grounded, and it's okay. You know, you have to get that. Yeah, they get in a little mischief, and they do things, but you can't prevent your own children from toppling over, or have a bloody nose, or a bruise. It hurts. You want to wrap them into cotton wool. it's life, isn't it? So it's all
It is.
exploration.
I know about that one right now because now Bailey has gone through her season and finally been spayed. We're back out sort of out walking, but I'm trying to allow her a wee bit of space off the lead because we've got down by the sea. There's a promenade, so it's far enough away from traffic, so I'm not so worried, and I can let her off. And at the start, I think it's not about her; it's about me having that confidence to let her off. And I let her off now, and she'll go and run on the pebble beach. She'll go around, and then when I call her, normally there's a treat involved. She'll come back, and she's got now. We've done it a few times, and we're still working on it. And she's actually been really good that she doesn't go too far away from me, and that's me starting to make me feel that I'm giving her that bit of space. But it's really hard because I was like afraid she's going to run off, she's going to see another dog, she's going to get something's going to happen, and I think it's more about me than her.
It's all
So
about that
totally, Caroline,
trust,
I agree.
of that trust. She's coming back,
Yeah.
and for me, it's good. Yeah, she's always good, and sometimes she walks up front and she looks back, and then I can call her, and she comes. She gets a little cuddle, and then she's off again. And of course, we're careful. We don't let them free next to a street. It's all that. But if it's sort of safe, but that's like dog walk is like. Is there manure on the field? No, no, no. So you come on a leash. I don't want that. Is there
Yeah.
danger? Is another dog on a leash coming? Or, you're always sort of aware.
Yes.
You're constantly checking things out. It's not like, I mean, it's great to be in nature. It's great to sort of feel that, but you're on alert, sort of
Yes.
checking things out. Just, yeah,
Keep us
unconsciously,
safe.
just with a dog.
Yes. My Bailey has a habit of eating things, and I
Mm.
have to watch on the ground all the time what's there to make sure she doesn't go and pick something up. The number of times I have to go in and take something out of her mouth. I mean, I have to say, like, even my sister was saying recently, she says, I cannot believe that you can cope with the dog because you're so fussy about stuff. And I go, yeah, like, no, I'm
It's a
just,
steep
yeah.
learning curve, I know.
Yeah, but I think it was because I've been on the healing journey for so long. Now was the right time. I don't think I probably could have coped as well before. And I think now, because my heart was open and we've done the healing work to the point where I just am able to enjoy the experience more than being upset about, oh, she's chewed this or she's done that or she's done. I can enjoy, yeah, sometimes I get annoyed she's destroyed something, as we do, but I don't dwell on it, and I can let it go. And I just look at her because she's just like does that sort of cute little look, and I have to forgive her because she's just lovely.
It is. It is. And then we can say, yeah, that's what dogs do, or I
Yeah.
didn't catch her in the right moment, or whatever else. And yeah, but it's all about letting go of perfection. I mean, the
Yeah.
foster family that had our two kittens, they're actually from Sardinia. They were put out onto the streets when they were 4 weeks old, babies. There were three of them, and one was bitten to death by a dog. So they all three were attacked by a dog, and the two were rescued and, baby fed and immunized and everything, and then brought to Switzerland. And then they went to a foster family, and they had 11 cats. But that's just a cat house. And I thought, oh, that's me. I'll be the elderly lady with 20 cats in my home. But actually, they had no curtains. Their furniture was bare of anything because it's all plaything. They had no plants. They had no life. They just had cats, And I thought of like,
Dedication.
yeah. I mean, we can balance that. I still want my
Yes.
plants. I still want my life. I still want my shelf. And the cats can learn and I can adapt. I think it's all about that balance. If it's something really treasurable, something my kids made, out of clay, I put it away. I put it in a cupboard. so it won't fall over and break, because you can't replace that. And other things, I mean, of course, I look that nothing is of glass, that they could hurt
Yeah.
themselves. And yeah, but it's just, I think it's a more fun, a more open living, and yeah, we are releasing perfectionism, how it should be. And I mean, when I was married, I was in a perfect life. Everything had to be, the chairs aligned a certain distance from the table. It looked like living in better living in a catalog,
Yes,
everything was.
yes.
And it's very, very stressful to always, especially with 3 young kids. Can you imagine? But so I I released all that, and I live a much happier life, and I think
And more
that the
time for the things
pets,
you love.
yeah, and I think the pets bring us more into the moment. And I think that's what
Yeah.
life is all about. And recently, I don't know whether you get the toot notes, but it says, so you're alive, so you're abundant. And I thought, so that's really great. And I thought, so
True.
yeah, and it's true. It's so amazing. And just living in that more moment, and playing with the cats. It's I don't do much else than playing with the cats right now. And then of course I take my laptop and do some work, which is great. And having my daughter look after the kittens while I do our show,
Yeah.
it's really great. But yeah, it still needs, that, and then we'll see. But at night they're really great. We had 2 nights together, and I felt like, oh gosh, what will be on the floor next morning? But all is well, all is
Oh,
good.
good. Oh, that's so good.
That's
Uh,
really good.
I can see the joy that, because I know how heartbroken you were when Leo passed. And of course, I mean, anyone who has their beloved pet, unfortunately, this is something we'll all have to face, and it really is hard. But we're not going to think on that. But to see how they've brought you are just glowing with and the pictures you sent, and maybe if you wouldn't mind sharing a picture with on our Facebook here, and I'll share one of Bailey as well, so our listeners and viewers can actually see who we're talking about. Because I mean, I'm actually in a hotel away for a couple of days. My sister's over visiting, and we've just been in London to visit our niece. And my sister's going to come down, and my sister is so excited to come to our house and meet Bailey. And she said to my niece yesterday, she said, "I'm meeting your cousin." As if just the way you talk about Bailey is, to her, she says, it's your child. I am the auntie to Bailey, and she's so excited about meeting Bailey. And I know she'll love Bailey. And it's even like that is even my mom, who's just not an animal person at all. When I talk to her, she goes, "What's Bailey doing? What?" You know, she just is. I think because maybe she sees how much she means to me, and I do talk about her all the time. It's just so lovely that I feel she's been embraced by the family as well, and
It's
that's
her
lovely.
grandchild. It's her grandchild. I tell you, once I announced that I was pregnant with my first child, no one asked about me. My mom always asked, "And how's the baby doing? Is everything okay? Did you have your checkup?" And then, of course, once they are born, that's just it. It's not like,
Yeah,
"How are you doing? Is everything all right? Oh, can I see the grandkid? How is the grandkid doing? What is she doing?" So, okay, good, thank you. You just become, dispensable.
totally,
Yeah,
totally.
but it's it's
But
it's so great.
it is. It's totally great. But yes, we'll share some pictures with you as well. And yeah, if you have pets, share your pictures with us too, because we just love seeing them. And now, because I feel that for me, a doggy world has opened up. I start now, if somebody else's dog is there and it's really cute, and I ask, can I give it a cuddle? Or, I get excited. Some dogs now, I have to say, some dogs are just not my dog, not my cup of tea. And some, I mean, particularly because Bailey's a cockapoo, that I call them the poos and the doos, the doodles as well. They all seem to know each other and they just gravitate together and they play. And Bailey's really funny because when she's with another like poo or doodle, they jump up on their back legs and like dance. And it's so sweet. I said I need to get her a little tutu because I must video it sometime because it is just the sweetest thing where they're just like dancing together. So gorgeous. So such good natured dogs.
Yeah, and every breed has their special kind of play. I mean, she's, as a Goldie, she's really good with other retrievers because they just have the same kind of play. And what is corgis? Neighbor has corgis, but they just chase her all the time. She's okay with that, but then she gets eventually, she's tired. She wants to play like you. They go on all four or roll over and all that, and it's really really fun. And that's how each breed is really special. And somehow, you know, she sees another Goldie, and they're sort of like they know each other. That's just it.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. I get that. And you know, Bailey will go to certain dogs. She's not so keen on bigger dogs, but I know why, because it was a bit of an incident and she's a bit nervous about bigger dogs. But there's a Great Dane. There's a man that walks a Great Dane, and we often bump into Daisy is this Great Dane, and this Great Dane, big lollop of a thing, and is the most sweet natured dog. And she always comes over, and it's like she's like an elderly aunt, sort of just uses her paw to put Bailey, you know, almost like sort of going, now come on, you need to be doing this. And she uses her paws to gently just coerce Bailey a wee bit into sort of like, you know, settle down now, don't be so bad. And it's so amazing to see. It is. They're like so, the characters of these dogs and animals, when you spend time with them, they really have their own personalities. It's just a complete joy. So glad for the pets in our lives.
Yeah, and it's so funny because the two kittens, they are so different to Leo, which is good, you know. But sometimes I really have to, because somehow you expect the same, or you know, not expect the same, but and so just being open for it. And yeah, and again, pets are not Christmas presents, they are a commitment. And we really have to think before we just get any kind of pets. How long do they live? How much space do they need? Yeah, the costs is always, you know, dog food if you have a bigger dog. I mean, yeah. And of course the vet, and who is looking after your pets when you go away. All these kind of things really has to be thought about. And yeah, you have to find solutions for things. Or like for the dog, if I'm sick, you know, and I can't go for a walk, who takes that over? It's all these little things that we don't think when we see a cute little puppy. And
but you're absolutely right, Caroline. It is a big commitment, and you need to do the research and really think whether a dog, if you really have the space for a dog in your life, because our dog or pet that requires you to be there and be committed to them. Because I just hear of people and their pets are just being left, and it just breaks my heart. I mean, as I say, I'm not the biggest animal lover in the world, but I would never hurt an animal, and I absolutely hate the idea of an animal being mistreated. So yeah, please, if you're going to have any pets, if you're thinking about a pet, really do research it. As Caroline says, choose the right one. I mean, there are so many different range of pets out there. As you say, a tortoise, I mean, they're great, but they don't take the same commitment as a dog. You know, a cat, sometimes when they're also a little bit more independent, it's finding that
or
right
guinea
one.
pig, they maybe live 4 years, you know, live in a cage if you're not allergic to hay, you know, all these kind of things. it's different. And yeah, and don't get just a pet because your kid wants one. If you
Yeah,
really can't deal with it, you don't make your kid happy if you have to get rid of the pet later on, or you resent not being able to say no. So healthy boundaries,
yes,
and
yeah,
it's your commitment as a parent. And yeah, the kids have fun for 5 minutes and then they're off to the new thing, right?
exactly, exactly. It is parents' responsibility to really take on that pet if they've got the commitment. Oh, what a joy to talk about our pets today and share that with you. I mean, I just, yeah, because we were talking about episodes and I just said, let's talk about our pets because you were getting your kittens and I thought, oh, it'd be lovely to hear about your kittens and things. And they're so gorgeous. They really, really are. And I look forward to hearing more of their adventures and what their antics and what they're up to.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, thank you so much for suggesting this great topic and having so much fun talking about pets. And yeah, share your photos, your
Please.
experiences, and sending you all so much love. Enjoy a fabulous summer day if you have it. And
We have
next
here.
week, we're going to speak on Wednesday, and let's be surprised about the topic that's coming up.
Yes, we find another good one for you for next week. Wonderful. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much, Janet. Enjoy London and have fun introducing Bailey to your sister and
I
vice
can't wait.
versa.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.